They took land. They took freedom. They took lives.
Human history is filled with ambition, with discovery, with progress. But some ambitions came at a cost so great that the world is still paying for it. This is the story of colonization and slavery, not as dates and empires, but as human suffering on a global scale. This was not just conquest, it was exploitation, and it became one of the biggest mistakes people ever made. In the late 1400s, Europe looked outward. Kings dreamed of gold, merchants dreamed of riches, empires dreamed of power. Ships set sail across unknown oceans, guided by stars, compasses, and greed. They called it exploration. But for the people waiting on distant shores, it would become invasion. When Europeans first arrived in Africa, Asia, and the Americas, they met civilizations thousands of years old. Rich cultures, deep traditions, complex societies. At first, there was curiosity, then trade, then control. A flag planted in the soil became a claim, not just over land, but over people. Europe discovered something powerful. The world was full of resources: gold, spices, sugar, cotton, rubber, and extracting those resources required labor. Cheap labor, forced labor. Empires expanded not to civilize, but to extract. Maps changed color as continents were divided, often with rulers and ink, not understanding, not care. To fuel plantations and mines, millions of human beings were turned into property. Men, women, children, captured, chained, sold. Families were torn apart in moments, never to see each other again. This was slavery. Across the Atlantic, slave ships became floating prisons. People were packed tightly, unable to stand, unable to breathe properly. Disease spread quickly. Death was common. Some never reached land. Their bodies were thrown into the ocean, chains still attached. The sea swallowed their names, their stories, their lives. Those who survived faced a brutal reality. Plantations, mines, railroads, work from sunrise to kala, work from sunrise to collapse, punishment for slowing down, punishment for resisting, punishment for being human. Children grew up knowing only labor. Culture was stripped away. Languages were erased. Slavery did not just steal freedom, it stole identity. Colonization spread far beyond slavery. Entire nations were controlled by foreign powers. Local leaders were removed. Borders were drawn without care. Traditional systems were replaced by colonial rule, enforced through violence. Resistance was crushed. Village burned. Rebellions silenced. Empires ruled through fear. But oppression always creates resistance. Enslaved people rebelled. Colonized nations fought back. Some uprisings failed. Many were brutally punished. But the desire for freedom never died. Even in chains, hope survived. By the 1800s, the world began to question slavery. Abolition movements grew. Protests filled streets. Voices rose. Laws were passed. Slavery was outlawed. But freedom came without justice. Former slaves were released into poverty. With no land, no compensation, no equality. Colonies remained colonies. The system had changed names, but not its impact. Colonial borders created conflict that still exists today. Economies were built to serve empires, not people. Wealth flowed to Europe. Poverty remained in the colonies. Generations grew up carrying trauma, passed down like an inheritance. Racism found justification. Inequality became normal. The scars were permanent. Even after independence, many nations struggled. Political instability, economic dependency, social division. Colonization ended on paper, but its shadow never left. The modern world, its inequalities, its conflicts, its injustices are deeply rooted in this past. Colonization and slavery were not accidents. They were choices, made for profit,